Where is more exciting right now, the US or Europe?
I mean, obviously, the United States is where the near-term growth is going to be. The market's much more developed than Europe. We have a tremendous amount of states, as you just mentioned, moving from medical to recreational. It's not only New York, it's Minnesota, it's New Mexico. I believe Vermont and Connecticut has indicated they want to do it this July. I think Pennsylvania is going to be next. So it's a domino. We said this, when New Jersey voted in November, I said to everybody, I think this is a domino effect from here on, and that's what's happened. And it's happened, to be honest, faster than we thought. So definitely the major growth is in the United States, and Curaleaf's major focus continues to be the US. But Europe is not far behind. Europe is where we were in 2017. And, Curaleaf from 2017 till now grew from, 17 million of revenues to over $1 billion of revenue. So yeah. I think that's where Europe is today. And Curaleaf decided to put its footprint to move our brands into Europe. And we bought the largest operator in Europe. And we also raised $130 million of financing in order to finance that build out. So we're very excited about the European operation. And the big differentiation between Europe and the US is that Europe is a capital light model. Europe it's legal. The medical business in Europe is absolutely, legal in the EU. And so we don't have to build these operations in every single country. We can build a centralized operation in Portugal and Spain, which is where we are, and then distribute it through all of Europe.
Well, and so once you get that sort of distribution level, I mean, you're not worried at all about any sort of impediments with regards to any of the member states maybe deciding that they want to sort of set their own parameters. You're certain here that we're going to have sort of that, blanket rule coming out of the EU.
So it's very interesting. Under the UN Charter, medical is legal, and so Europe has taken the position that you can cross borders with it. So there is no impediments today on medical in Europe. Today, EMMAC sells to the UK, to Germany, to Italy, to Spain, to France, and now to Israel. So there is no impediments in Europe. Now, adult use, and you've heard recently, Switzerland and Holland have announced adult use pilot programs. And the reason they call them pilots is because under the UN Charter, recreational and adult use cannabis is not yet legal, but if you call it a pilot, you can launch it. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the regulatory environment develops in Europe around adult use cannabis as it moves forward here.
So going back to the U.S. for a second, we started with that map showing the patchwork of state regulation. Some state there's nothing, some is medical, some recreational. How costly is that to have? You mentioned that the advantage in Europe is because it's medical is legal, you can consolidate production, capital light. How costly is it for sort of U.S.-based businesses to have such a wide range of legal regimes?
So Curaleaf last year spent about $125 million on capital expenditures. This year, we'll probably spend, now that New York has legalized, we'll probably spend closer to $180 million in CapEx. So that's about what we're putting to work every single year. Curaleaf, since its founding, has probably spent close to $1 billion in building its infrastructure in the United States, which is why we have the leadership position that we do. We're in 23 states. We're now doing national launches of products. As we forecasted, we'll do somewhere between $1.2 and $1.3 billion in revenue this year. That's on the back of a $650 million a year last year. So about 100% growth year on year.
Boris, there's $130 million from a single strategic institutional investor. Now, I'm interested that they're not divulging who they are, but we get very excited when we look at other sort of really ballooning industries such as crypto, when institutional players come in, we say this is a sign of real support. What does this investment mean to you? Why are they doing it, and why not saying who they are?
Well, this particular investor is very excited about the European market. They see that Europe is exactly as I said, where the United States was 4 or 5 years ago. Europe is a market that's 1.5 times bigger. The economy is 1.5 times bigger than the U.S. The cannabis use is just as prolific as the United States. And so there's a huge opportunity. If you think about Curaleaf in 2017, Curaleaf was a $300 million market cap company. Today, it's a $10.7 billion market cap company. So in 4 years, we grew quite dramatically. And if you think that that's the kind of growth prospects that you have in Europe, I suspect that investors believe that that's the kind of growth they're going to see. And that's why we financed it at the European level, because we also didn't want to breach the veil, right? I mean, Europe is legal. and we wanted to maintain that legal status, and so we raised money at the European level.